Hey, Tom No from Atomic Enrollment. Today we're going to go over a case study of one of our newer clients and show you what the first 60 days together looks like of helping ramp up enrollments. Cool numbers to go through, which you guys are going to enjoy. So here's an HVAC trade school running in-person training for HVAC training. They're local, in person. We have some HVAC training companies HVAC and other trade schools that teach online through VR, really cool as well. But this specific school is in person locally in Nevada. And we're running meta ads locally to their school for them. We've been live for about 6 weeks together. And we're on an initial test budget here, roughly about $700 a week. We're going to talk through how we're generating butts and seats enrollments for about $700 cost per enrollment in just the first 6 weeks, which is usually, we're dialing things in, testing things. So cost per enrollment is usually higher. But we're already at $700 for about a $10,000 program. So your first video with us, our core secret sauce, is what we call running content first social advertising. Google Ads works well to some degree for schools, but really the big upside is on social media advertising like Meta, TikTok, YouTube, because you could generate more demand, somewhat unlimited, versus Google search. There's a limited amount of people looking for you guys. So it all starts with our onboarding process of knowing intimately, deeply who the ideal students are. So we go through a process of a marketing brief where we get the download from the client. These days, we do a lot of research with AI. So we do a lot of the research upfront for clients, and clients help fill in the gaps, which is pretty cool. But we understand the student profile. Who intimately are you trying to reach? That's where it starts. You got to understand that deeply on a very deep level. So as you can see here, we understand deeply about the client, what, substantiates the proposition, what their desires are, what their fears are, competing programs, objections, understand their past data. So this is really where it starts. This client has tried some social media advertising, but again, it's an in-person school. There's challenges to that. They were never able to successfully get people locally to come in. And we're going to show you how we solved that. And more importantly, they just didn't have a predictable way to continue to grow enrollments. And now they do. Since we know deeply who they want to get in front of, we go about crafting all the ad scripts and the videos for the client. That's really where the magic happens, where you speak to the avatar deeply, not just some digital door knocking like, hey, come train for HVAC and learn the trades like electrical. We're great. Understand deeply. That's really where the enrollments are made. And then, we create videos, the ad videos, and then we build the funnel. So there's ad videos on the front end. There's ad videos circulating to the right ideal student on the front end, circling them. And then we push them into a mini webinar page like this, where they do a deeper dive video. And then they schedule an intro call with the admission salesperson. Again, super pro tip, FAQs on this page is a game changer, because when there's no clarity, there's no action. So again, we understand Avatar deeply. We content first ad strategies. We went on Meta, and then we create the ad videos, the front end videos, the mini webinar video, the landing page. It all revolves around the right content stemming from understanding the avatar and the ideal student deeply. Now, the exciting part. Let's walk through some numbers. So the call volume, we ramped up fast. When we first launched, again, we're testing a variety of hooks, what works, what doesn't work, understanding data, optimizing things. So got 21 calls in the first week. Now we're at about 44 to 55 calls a week. As you can see, cost per call is dropping as we optimize. We know what we're looking for. This specific program, we're nailing it pretty well. And our cost per call started around $26. Now it's like $15, which is kind of unheard of. And there's a couple of caveats there too. We traditionally would do more filtering on the front end as we understand, what type of leads are coming in to get the quality dialed in, especially for such a low cost per call like this. But we were just looking at downstream metrics, just looking further down the line towards enrollment, and numbers were just so good that we just didn't need to add unnecessary friction to the lead process. And we're just focusing more on the content. Dialing in the content, the landing page, the videos. So people book a call. Not everyone, is able to connect on the call. Industry average is about 50%. People book a call. You connect on the call. You got to think of it like a lead list. So our cost per connected call is still under $50. Generally, for a program that costs about $10,000, we aim for a cost per booked call for about $100. and the economics still work based on all the industry averages, we're like leaps and bounds above that. So again, we generally aim for $100 cost per booked call. Our cost per book call is about 1/8 that, and a cost per connected call is still about half the book call. So really, really, really strong metrics here. And that comes from really understanding the avatar well and getting in front of the right people and speaking deeply to them and circling them with the right content. Now, how the process goes is someone who talks to the sales rep on the phone, about 50% come in person to tour the facility and the school. So that means it costs about $100 of a qualified prospect to physically walk through their facility, which is really, really, really absurd in a good way. So tours booked climbed from 4 to 8 to 13 to 22 a month. We're also giving some coaching on the back end to the sales team for best practices on connection rates, things of that nature. Now, here's the wild part. We started just recapping the May metrics. Starting test budget was around $3,000. That's actually under $3,000 because we aim for about $100 a day in ad spend as a test budget. So we came in a little under $3,000, $2,800 in ad spend, and we closed 4 enrollments off that. That's about $700 in cost per enrollment from cold meta traffic. So again, when a tuition program is about $10,000 and you're paying $700 to acquire a student, that's a 14x return on your ad spend. And again, this is just the launch entry phase where we haven't optimized fully yet, because when you first launch, there's a lot of testing. So yeah, we're about 6-7 weeks in on a test budget. And, we'll share some updates as we're dialing it in, see where this takes us. But it's going to be probably in a pretty wild place. And so if you have any questions about how this client is doing, how we're creating success, how we can create success for you guys and replicate this, let us know. Yeah, hope you found that exciting. We have a lot of resources that can help you guys. We have a swipe file of the best performing ads right now that you guys can replicate. We have tons of resources on our YouTube channel about how our process works and how you can replicate some of that process. And if you want to have a conversation about how we could replicate this for you guys, we could jump on a strategy call where we audit your current process, your goals, your ads, your funnels, kind of deeply, truly audit everything and lay out a strategy of how we help you get there and hit your goals. So we can do that as well. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Take care.